The second one, consumer buying behavior. So we define this as the sum total of the consumer's attitude, their preferences, their intentions, and decisions regarding the consumer behavior in the marketplace when purchasing a product or service. The greatest motivation for taking a buying decision is need. Every other motivation takes its source from the need. So we can take a study of the Maslows Hierarchy of needs. This provides a guide of the things that people spend their resources on as they move up the ladder towards self-actualization. Abraham Maslow's Hierarchy of needs provides a guide of the things that people spend their resources on as they move up the ladder for self-actualization. Okay, so we see at the base of the pyramid, the needs of people at the base of the pyramid are basically physiological. So they spend their money on things that will provide air, food, and water, the basic health, the basic things of life. And then, of course, as people begin to move up the ladder, it means that you have been able to satisfy the needs, your basic needs of life. So you begin to look for, you begin to spend your money on things that, on the need for safety, shelter, and stability. Then, of course, as your social class improves, so you begin to look for love. So you pay for, you spend your money on things that will give you love, things that will give you a sense of belonging in a society, and things that will give you a sense of inclusion in the society. Then the next level is for self-esteem. So people at this, level have overcome the basic needs of life. They have been able to meet, so they don't go out daily, looking for food, looking for water, or trying to meet their health demands. Okay, so they are spending money on things that will help their self-esteem. They are spending money on things that will boost the power that they have, the control, and the recognition in the society. And at the top of the pyramid, which is self-actualization. So this is the point that people are looking for things that are just no longer basic. Things that, has to do with development, things that have to do with growth, things that have to do with creativity. All right. So people move, up this ladder from the base. And of course, you will understand that their disposable income will also determine where you find people at their positions in this pyramid. There are major groups of buyers, the individuals and the business. The motivation and the decision-making process for each of these, they differ largely. It is therefore expected that there will be differences in the behaviors exhibited by the groups while making a buying decision. When an individual is taking a buying decision is different from when a company is buying. All right. So, but in all of this, we have been able to identify certain motivators for buying. Okay. Some of these motivators are one, given. So people buy from organizations, that tend to give. So there's a sense of indebtedness when there's an opportunity for the prospect to buy. This is the thinking behind content marketing. So a lot of organizations give information, they give out things that people should have naturally paid for. And then when there is an opportunity to buy, people tend to buy from those organizations. Okay? People also buy from people that show authority about certain topics or about the product. So as an organization that is selling, or as an individual that is selling, you must be able to prove to the market that you are far ahead of your competitor with respect to knowledge in the segments that you play. So this gives comfort to the customers. Okay, so they believe that you know what you're talking about. They believe that you are an authority in the field and in the segment that you're talking about. Another important motivator is social validation. All right. So the evidence that are provided by other customers in form of testimonials are better than all those $1 million hats that you have. Okay, consistency is another reason. When there is an alignment in marketing communication and user experiences across all channels, prospects are more motivated to try the product. Another point is journey support. Okay, there is always a buying journey. So prospects need to make a couple of decisions before they make the final one to buy. So they want you to be around to be able to reassure them that they are making good progress by every decision that they make to the next one, that leads them to the final decision of paying for your product or service. Another factor that organizations play on is scarcity. So the scarcity of certain products creates a perception that the product is of great value and is in high demand. So customers try to avoid being caught up in the wrong position of paying more due to scarcity. So whenever they see the product, they want to quickly buy. All right. Another point is appeal. People buy from organizations that tend to promote ideals that resonates with them. Organizations that invest in social causes that make people to like them and drive, purchase from them. There are other motivators, and we have considered those ones for individuals. So the next set of motivators will be for organizations, that is businesses taking buying decisions. So businesses buy because they want to make more money. They can also buy products or services that can help them to improve their productivity and efficiency. They can also buy because they want to increase their sales and market share. So if your product or service can help them to increase their sales or their market share, they will buy. Businesses are also interested in products that will make them to reduce the cost of their business, cost of their doing business. So if you have a product that can help a business to reduce the cost of doing business, they would like to buy. They also look at products and services that can help them to improve their own quality of product and service. So if you have an idea or you have a product or service for a client or an organization that can help them to reduce and that can help them to improve the quality of their product and service, they would like to buy. Organizations also buy products that will help them to reduce risk. So this is a grid that shows the decision-making process when businesses are buying. Let's look at it, this grid that tells us the processes of making decisions by businesses. So we have this grid. On the vertical, we have the cost of the product, and then on the horizontal, we have the strategic importance to the business. So if you look at the products of high spend and low strategic importance, usually these are utilities, all right? So they are products that are expensive, but they are like a necessity in the organization. So usually you find people who are at the mid-level of the organization that are involved in taking decisions, and it could be a mix of specialists and people that are not specialists. And this is what you find with services. Maybe an organization that supplies diesel or internet service. These are things that they are not so important to the future of the organization, but they are important, and of course the cost is very high. Then we also look at the ones of high strategic importance and high spend. So we could look at plant equipment. This we consider as critical assets to every organization. These are things that can change the future of the organization. These are things that can significantly affect how the organization goes forward. So when organizations are taking the decision to buy this kind of product, it usually involves people at the C-level of management, all right? And then usually involve specialists and experts, who have to take decision because the product is of high spend and of course it's of high strategic importance. So the people that are taking the decision are usually people at the top of the organization, all right? And many times clients are looking at products that they can customize, to their need. And then the other one is the low spend and the low strategic importance. We have easy example in the stationery. So these are products that could, you can easily replace the vendor. So specialists are not involved in taking those kind of decisions. And then of course, organizations will look at the easy channel to get those products, and they will usually buy from those easy channels. And then the other one is the low spend and the high strategic importance. All right. The cost is low, but this is something that is very important, to the future of the organization. You can look at safety certification. For example, in Nigeria, you can look at NAFDAC certificate. So your product, the cost of NAFDAC certificate is not a significant cost in running a business, but it's something that is very important. You can also look at taxes, all right? So these are low spend, but these do have strategic impact on your business in the long run. All right. So these are the things this is the grid that determines who takes the buying decision in an organization when an organization is buying a product. So all the products that organizations buy do fall into any of this. So, but when it does, the people that are to take the buying decision are usually considered based on the cost of the product and the strategic importance of the product to the business. we have a list of behaviors that we have seen with customers when they are buying products. Okay, there are quite a couple of them, but we'll look at 4. All right, there's a routine response type of consumer buying behavior, and this is about buying brands, that you're familiar with. When you go to a shopping mall or a supermarket, so you go with the intention that you are going after a particular brand, okay? But when you get to the store, if you can't get the particular brand that you're looking for, you probably look for something that is familiar or something that is of a cheaper price, okay? Another behavior is limited decision making. Now, this is about having an intent to buy a certain product, but on getting to the store, you end up buying the one that fits into your budget and, of course, meets your expectation because you are not so committed to a certain brand, okay? Another one is extensive decision making. Now, this is because of the cost of the product that you want to buy. So you need some time to think about the product. You need some time to look at the alternatives, all right? The higher the cost of the product, the more extensive the decision making process, all right? The 4th is the impulsive buying. This is the type of products that you buy without necessarily planning for it. I mean, a bottle of water, a bottle of soda on the road. These are things that you don't necessarily, create a budget for. So, but the sight of the products, can elicit a sudden desire that you want to respond to. So, the buying process involves moving towards taking a decision about whether to buy or not. So, the first is recognizing a need or awareness of a problem. So the customer is aware that he has a problem that needs to be solved or there is a need that has to be met. And of course, they go to the next stage, which is information search, looking for products that will be able to meet the need or that will be able to solve the problem. And then the next is to look at the alternatives that are available, look at the options that they have, and look at the differential advantages that you can get looking at the different products. And then the next is purchase, okay? And then from purchase, you go to the post-purchase evaluation. All these stages require the support and the help of a salesperson that you have, in helping the customer to take this good decision.